been testing on.
It is going to be for today's weather, a sun with some white stuff in front of it.
Is that
Mount
snow?
Kilimanjaro.
Is that like snow?
Until it starts to rain.
Not
It's coming.
It's snowing out
I've never
west.
seen a line like that. It's directly north-south and it's just coming straight out. Tony Halleck, everyone. Tony Halleck.
Do you have an app that you can do that from your phone now?
Yes, yes. So I'm actually home right now.
Good to go?
Yeah, we're all set.
All right, let's start with the pledge, kids. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stacy, please call the roll.
Mr. Bono,
Here.
Albrecht, Luce.
Here.
Scarano.
Here.
Ricky.
Here.
Warnzak.
Here.
Gorecki. Quorum present.
Let's go with the mission statement, John.
Sure. The Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency delivers economic incentives to businesses and industry to diversify and strengthen Herkimer County's tax base and enhance community vitality by supporting job creation, business and industrial development, and community revitalization. We strive to develop local economy in an organized, sustainable, and environmentally beneficial manner.
Thank you. Item 4 are the minutes. They've been sent. There were a bunch of minutes there from August 31st, September 9th. Public hearing on Clear Path Energy and Chem Manufacturing public hearing. Any additions, corrections, deletions, et cetera on those? Hearing none.
I just want to state one thing about the Clear Path. We actually did have people attend that one. We had the town supervisor, the town highway supervisor, and the superintendent of schools. Only comments were made by the town supervisor that he's behind it 100%.
Thank you.
His name is?
John Houghton.
Oh, that's right, okay. All right. Yep, yep, okay.
Anything else? I need a motion, entertain a motion to accept those minutes. John Scarano, second by Kate Ricky. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
So should we just assume that all four, they
Yeah.
did all four?
Item number 5, the financials have been sent to you, they're on pages 14 through 19. Any questions right now? John, you want to give us an update on?
Sure, we are up to date with all of our outstanding loans and grants. Victoria will give an update on where we are with micro enterprise in 222. The other thing, as of last week, we have paid down our property debt for Skylar. We have paid down about 400,000. So we have about 450,000 left. So we're moving quite along quickly with that pay down of that. So we're excited to see that happen.
Any discussion there, comments, questions? Need a motion to accept the financial reports. Dave Clues, second by John Scarano. I'm sorry, Dave Clues, wasn't Dave Clues, Kate Ricky.
Are we gonna talk about the audit or that's later?
I'm in the middle of vote here.
No.
No. Yeah, we probably will, Dave.
No, I didn't know when, but I see it. It's down farther.
Okay.
Kate Ricky and John Scarano.
Just keep waiting.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. All right, Victoria is going to give us a little update on the micro enterprise. 222.
Yes, so for the micro enterprise, I am still waiting for documentation from the final 2 businesses that were awarded. That is Geo's Breath Farm. He had some difficulty finding one of the machines that was outlined in the application. So we're working through that. And Hill Path Brewery, same thing, just working with him to get the invoices in. I expect to actually close on both of those sometime next week. Anyone that with job requirements has not had any issues meeting the jobs that they have committed to for their project. So moving along with those, and for the 222.
Well, let's go back just for 1 second, Victoria. So after you complete those 2, are we done with the
Yeah,
micro?
we will be done once those two submit their documentation. We'll do the final drawdowns, and then we'll be ready to submit the final reporting for that.
So that allows us now to reapply for some more micro enterprise money, which we will be doing in the early part of November. It's a revolving process, so we can apply at any time. So we feel as though we were very successful in this and the amount of time that it took and the amount of businesses we supported. So we feel as it's a good program. And we're gonna see what the limits of it can be too. We're gonna see if we can bump it up maybe to more employees or the different groups we might be able to assist here, because we know there's some gaps in what we can do, and this is a good opportunity to fill those.
Victoria, how do you confirm the jobs?
They have to submit what is called the New York State 45. That is submitted to the state quarterly when they do their reporting for their taxes.
Okay.
So they submit that at the time of the application along with every quarter. And so it shows the growth, it proves it over time. And they also have to fill out forms from the New York State CDBG program, the job reporting forms. So it
Okay.
has every employee, how many hours they're going to be working, the description.
And you see those forms?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's great.
Yeah, we've been very successful in the past year of working with all the people that we've supplied grants or some of these loans through, that they've been very receptive in getting us the paperwork. I think because we've stayed on top of it and explained it, Victoria explained it clearly to them that this is how they get their money.
Anything else, Victoria?
The 222 program, I had a closing with Body Science yesterday, so she came in and did her closing. And I expect Juliana's farm to close within the next few days as well, just waiting on his documentation for his proof of payment. So those two are moving along fairly quickly. I do have to bring up the image quote. She was actually approved at our July meeting. And I've had some difficulty getting documentation from her, and I did recently find out that she is on a month-to-month lease. So it's a bit concerning to me that she's not invested in Herkimer County. So I'm not sure where we can move forward with that application.
I think we're gonna re-send out something to the board in the next week and let them know where we're seeing some shortfalls and maybe rescind that opportunity. We don't like to do that, but we just don't see the commitment to Herkimer County, and our money isn't to be given to where they live in Albany County or somewhere else. It just doesn't work that
What
way.
was her business?
She had the,
Image quote dance studio is on Main Street.
it's great when they have a year lease and we feel supportive, and she did in the beginning, but now when we ask to update stuff, it's all of a sudden changed. And you know, it's difficult to justify what we're doing. We don't wanna take a chance and throw up any red
Her
flags.
application is for cosmetic improvements, so it's difficult for me to see her with a lease for month to month and making cosmetic improvements to a business that she doesn't own. But I do have other applicants that are waiting, so I don't want to hold them up if they haven't.
We've gotten a couple recently that paid it off too, so that brought in more money into the fund. This is the gift that keeps giving, I'll tell you. It's a great small small grant program for us, grant loan.
Anything else, Victoria? Good job. Skylar Business Park, item 7.
Water tower.
Water tower.
So talking with the engineers and the design group, Fountainhead, because of the size of their warehouse and other potential growth in the park, it's highly recommended. They haven't quite cited us yet on the Department of Health, but we feel as though it will be coming, that we put in a water tower to cycle that water through the park. It's about, what did I say, maximum was 250,000? I can't remember now. Did I say not to exceed not to exceed 250? I know it'll be less than that. And all we're doing is supplying the water tower. The Fountainhead Group will install it themselves, but it will be beneficial to the entire park because of the end of the water line. We are Delta and Water Authority and Health are very concerned of the stagnant water because it ends there. So we thought this was a good opportunity to bring that in here, plus it will support the rest of the park.
Isn't that where the ducks are? Right? Isn't there a place there where the ducks go?
Didn't we have that in that park? Or no, for the stagnant water? Or am I totally out left?
No, stagnant water is in the line, the water line.
I'm talking about stagnant water sitting on the field.
Well, we have some other.
Remember, we had to spend all that time and money.
Well,
for
there's
the
more
ducks.
coming for that, so we'll hold that question.
All right, I'll duck that question.
Let me ask this, would it be cheaper? And you say this is recommended by Delta or Health Department?
By Delta Health Department and Mohawk Valley Water Authority.
Wouldn't it be cheaper just to loop that to the front near the
You would think
thruway?
the construction would be cheaper than and then to have that
The tank?
recycling through? Yeah, no.
You're laying pipe in a ditch.
And we don't know if we're gonna loop all the way through with everything else that we have going on here. This is the easiest and quickest
I would
resource.
have you ask them that question.
We already did discuss that. We already discussed
I
that.
don't see how a tank is cheaper than putting 1,000 foot of water line.
Just
I
ballpark, just for, how much is a water tank gonna cost and how much is it?
I think it's about 165,000, but we're not gonna pay the installation. We worked out the deal with Fountainhead to cover that cost.
The water tank's 250,000 gallons.
No, I think it's 350,
So
or 3 or
so
350.
you talk about stagnant. Just
It's
going
gonna
on my
recycle
experience,
through. It's gonna recycle. That's the whole point of it. They want the water to keep moving through that park.
With 350,000 gallons of water, they won't use that in a month.
It's gonna recycle. I'm just telling you.
I'm
what
just
it's
telling
all-
you, why it doesn't make sense to me that you're gonna put a tank in there and hold water.
Well, just like what we did for Tractor Supply,
What do you want?
that recycles too. Same way with the water tower up on the top recycles. The water tower we're supposed to put in Manheim recycles.
This is the one.
When in my business, they have is put in loops to do, to recycle.
I don't think they're a big
Recycle.
fan of us tapping into that 10-inch water main that goes to the throughway too, by the way.
Well, they're gonna tap when they put that transmission line in. Actually, be a new line there, right? I mean,
Yeah,
So, okay. I'll ask that question when. Okay, anything else?
Well, we need to vote on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dave, want to make a motion?
I'm not sure what are we voting on?
The actual
buy
tank.
one? To buy a tank, but
Yes.
we kind of don't really know what we're buying.
We're buying, yes,
Or
we
buying the
do.
tank.
We're buying a,
Who's gonna own this tank after? Are we gonna be responsible? for the
no,
upkeep?
we won't be
Water
responsible.
authority should take that
The
over.
water authority.
Okay, we just wanted to-
Did we do this in Frankfurt? Did we buy the
Yes.
water tank?
Yeah.
And
And
then,
we paid for the
then did Tractor
installation. so-
Supply pay for the
No,
installation? or
we did. We paid for the whole thing. Here, we're not paying for the whole thing.
And are the
Yeah, but
tanks
I'm
about
asking
the same
250.
size?
No, this tank's about 100,000 smaller.
Right, all right. So the motion is that we approve to
Purchase the water.
purchase.
And this
the
is
water
part of the
tank.
infrastructure, and what we'll be doing here, once again, is we'll be buying it through the money that was given to us through the county, then paying it back through the pilot. So we will not be out any money, it'll just come back through the pilot. So it's not like any. I'm sorry, Mr. Bono, do you have something or said something? I heard.
Did you hear me say something?
Mal did too.
I was just bobbling my head, listening to you, and I had a question, but go ahead.
Yeah, so that's how we'll be, we paid that.
We're doing a legislative power.
It's just kind of vague, I understand,
What more
but we're just buying a tank, I guess, let's go.
It's part of the infrastructure
And
for
we
the
need to
park,
do it.
and then it'll be paid back through the pilot.
At a specific cost.
Well, I'm saying not to exceed 250, but I think it's around 165, but those are older quotes when they had a previous guy who was gonna do the installation. The Fountainhead has since changed to a new developer, a new engineer, or a new construction firm. So they might even come in less than what he said to us.
Any problem with supply, trying to.
You know, they said available.
Not to exceed 250.
I made the motion.
David, second. Kate, any discussion? All those aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. Item number 8 is the Russell Farm archaeological survey. John?
Well, you'll see in your packet the cost of, as we all discussed. As we all discussed from our previous Russell Farm, we had to do a ship reporting on older pottery and they found some.
Who's on the phone? If you could mute, that'd be great. A lot of rustling around there. Thank you.
So what we need to do is have, and so far, he's been the least expensive, the gentleman from Carthage, Abel. What page is that on? So, did anyone, I get all these. No? Anybody else, right?
Yeah.
Pages on it. So, so he's charging, he also has to rent a backhoe, so 11,500 is really reasonable for what he's looking to do. So we had Mike Emmerich go out and stake the points, and he'll go out and dig the areas and report back. He doesn't see it being an issue, but we still have to do it to satisfy SHPO.
Did we, in the past, didn't we use for Skylar, we used students from Binghamton?
No, we did not. They wanted 65,000. He wanted 4,500.
There, you answered my question.
Same way this time. Everybody else is like 100 times the amount. This guy, him and one other guy, and they do it all. Save us so much money. I'm so glad we found him.
Good.
And
But
he has the
we did
same.
not use him.
Yes, we did.
Did we use him in the last, in the
Yes.
part where Fountainhead is?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because we already agreed to use the other one, and we said, I can't pay this, and we contacted SHPO. They said, well, here's our list of approved, and he was on there. So Mueller was here at the time, and he called a bunch of them, and this guy called back, and he's been
Good
very
job.
good.
Need a motion to approve the 11.5 for Kate, Mike. Any discussion? Further? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any
It says
opposed?
here,
Nay. Carried.
it says here that the site has to be plowed with discs.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you'll,
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Entwistle to see whoever does it for him up there. Do they do it themselves, or do they farm out to
they farm out a lot of their work. I don't know if they do their own plowing or not.
Kozakowski?
Probably.
He was very reasonable too, so. And it's not that big of a field. You know, it's a lot less acres than he did at,
He gets really busy this time of year. Because he plows in the fall for people. So
yeah.
It's the same guy that hit the fire hydrant with the mower, or is that
No.
a different guy?
You got a great memory, you know that?
No, you got a negative memory today for some reason. I'm not sure
I
why.
just was asking a question of the guy mowed the fire hydrant. I mean,
No, and
you wanted
I
us
got
to
a
pay
phone call
for it.
about him a week ago.
I got a sheep up. All right.
Item number 9, Sunny's Grassy Knoll. The application for financial assistance on 22 to 29. Let's look at that in your packet. John, you want to give us the?
Sure, there's another 20 megawatt system out in the town of Manheim. Their planning board has been approving them. I think they have an opportunity for maybe one more system to tie into their substation out there, and then they'll be done with solar. There will be some solar rules that'll be changed coming up, but it won't change the fact that the IDAs can still do the pilots and do everything that's needed the way we're currently doing it now. What happened is some parts of the state, the IDAs are against the solar, and so are some of the communities. So they're trying to lock them, where in our case, we can deal with it directly still. Tony read it over. We recommend it. It's a good project.
Questions? Motion? No one. Mike Wernzak, Dave Clues, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Applications approved. Now on the inducement resolution, which 30 through 34, that's was sort of explained, I guess.
And that's where Tony reviews and sends back his opinion. And
Motion? Anyone? Dave, second? Mike, thanks, Mike. Once a week. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried.
so we
Item
have, can I
10.
just say one quick thing about solar? So we have probably 6 solar projects in the hopper. Not anticipating, the only one that possibly could hit this year would be Watkins, the one in Schuyler. All the rest of them from our conversations well, that's not true too, because we haven't got one in front of you all yet. There's gonna be one from EDF, that'll be the old dump on Route 5S between Frankfurt and Utica. They've got the rights to put it there. It's not emitting gas any longer. It's a perfect site for solar. It's a 7-megawatt system. It'll be a community project going back into the grid that people can get reduction on their bill for. And that's through the Frankfurt process now. We should be seeing that application relatively soon. They might be able to start this year, but nobody else. So it might be them and Sun, but that's the other project, so.
In your contacts with Albany, you know, it's always been a Como push for solar and that. Is that, do you sense with the change of administration?
She
that
wants more.
She wants more.
I just read an article on it yesterday. Yeah, she wants more.
So
She doesn't think it's enough.
maybe the prisoners from Riker could help build.
Well, the big thing that they're gonna be building now is that manufacturing facility in the Port of Albany for the offshore wind power. And you're gonna see much more windmills in the sound off where you'll be standing in New York, looking out at Staten Island. You're gonna see quite a few of them in there. They're gonna be blocking Ellis Island. You're gonna see more along the St. Lawrence, more in the Great Lakes.
That's what Billy Joel's the world would be ecstatic about that one, it's off the mansion.
But that's what they're doing. They're pushing this, and it's a.
I got a story on Billy Joel. We'll talk
later.
later at Neckerman.
All right, item 10, the auditor, we're gonna put that to the end because Dave's really excited about that.
No, this really isn't the auditor, but we can discuss the auditor.
Claims auditor and supplementary claims auditor.
So this is one of the things that they found. We're gonna get written up for things. They won't charge us anything. We won't lose our license. We'll still be able to perform surgery like we normally have. Everything will be the same, but they have found some things. And one of the things that we were doing, like most other places, we have capability of always having 2 check signers. We'd pay our bills, and then John would come in when he had an opportunity to look them over and make sure everything was good. Now we have it a different process where we have everything ready for John before we release the check. So now John comes in twice a week. He cannot be able to sign, or not twice a week, twice a month. He cannot be a check signer as well. We had to take him off of that. So he could come in and evaluate each bill with the documentation and make sure the check is correct before it goes out. We need a backup. So this is asking for us to make Ann the backup. So Ann can stop in. She doesn't sign the checks. She can come in and review if John's out of town or we need a quicker check or something to pay something. We don't, what? Go
We
ahead.
need a motion to officially put John.
Oh, yeah, we haven't had a resolution to have John it officially either. But we haven't, they found nothing wrong with anything. They looked at all of our books, everything lined up, but it's just a procedural thing that they want us to have done. So we were okay with that. They've been very upfront and they've been very nice.
Okay, so we need a motion.
We need a motion to appoint John as the claims auditor and Ann as the supplementary claims auditor.
Go ahead. I have a question, but we'll go ahead. Second.
Second, Mike.
But can I just, do you have to actually have a physical check? Could you do bill pay and then John could just see it on, he's got to come in and, I mean, do you?
We cannot pay it ahead of time. So we could use.
No, I'm saying it's in the system. John looks at the check and just okays it. And do you actually have to physically print and mail a check? Or could you do the bill pay system? Just,
I don't know. Right now, every once in a while, Victoria or Stacy will send me something for my approval via email. Is that what you're speaking of?
yeah, I'm speaking like you had it in the system. There's a check and somehow you would go in and approve it and then the check would go through bill pay and just.
I have done that. I don't know if they'll allow that.
We haven't asked about that. They've only wanted to see what check.
Just the days of
Bill pay doesn't
mailing
have two
checks is
signatures.
kind of what,
Yeah, but there's not two signatures on bill pay too. We worry about that. Go ahead.
I could work it. Two people had to approve it.
Some of the bills, I approve, some of them they just do, or I sign. We'd like to keep, certain things.
Well, you're approving the invoice, right? But he's approving the check. or the
He's approving the
disbursement.
process. He's
Right.
approving that the check matches the bill, matches what we did with it.
It'd be hard for you to approve that. You're actually looking at the invoice.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
Well, for example, here, they just show me a few that they have not, the checks are still here. I look at it and I just say, okay, JS, and I put the date on it. Previous to this, my date that I would okay it would be a week later maybe, which, okay, I made it. So, yeah, I do look at it and I do question some things, not a lot, because I'm a board member, of course, and I do know what we've already, thought about or approved. But I do question some things and ask the ladies or John and go from there. My thought too is that I understand that. And you got two signatures, you've got budgets to adhere to, but we as a board, and I'll use your example of fiduciary responsibility, we look at financials today. And on there are checks that have been written, monies that have been spent. And then we approve the financials. A month later, is that a problem?
No, what's a problem is when we send checks out before they're approved by a non-check signing board
But what
member.
I'm saying is, in theory, let's say we hardly ever object to it, but let's say, wait a minute, what's going on with that one? Check's gone, what are we gonna do?
Oh, we can still go and find out, get you more information on it. And there's nothing that would stop anything you want us to find out more things on.
no, but he's saying if you already paid the bill and then there's a problem, how do you get the money back?
Right.
My other question is, what if you're retired now and you want to go to Florida for a month in February?
We have Ann as a backup. We just put her on as a
All right.
backup. We can't
No,
put
I'm
you
not
sign
talking
checks. We can't put Jimmy, we can't put Mike. So, and the three of us can't do it either.
I think
We
they're
have been,
trustworthy
just for-
than not.
We have been doing it
agree.
this way for a long
You're
time.
okay with it, but it was, I mean, all right.
It's there, yeah.
It's
And
good. I commend you for the pay you get for doing this.
There's an increase in his pay grade with.
I know. So,
But if John's okay with it, why does it feel as though you're questioning?
no,
if he's
I'm
okay
not.
with
I'm
it?
just questioning the efficiency of it. That's all. If
Well, the
there's-
efficiency is better
If
now.
you're okay printing checks, sending out in the
I'm okay
mail,
with it.
then go ahead. I'm
Okay,
I'm just saying is that's not the way the world's going.
no, it's not.
But we'll look into paying it that way,
But
but right
if
now,
it works, what do they say? If it ain't broke,
Don't. That's- no,
well, we were
I-
broke, so now we fixed it. Because the auditor said we were doing it in the wrong
In
process.
fact, last week I came in at the ladies, I'm sorry, Stacy's and Victoria's request. And I was actually approving these things while the auditor was sitting right there. So he did see that now I'm making a different effort, more of an effort to get in here and look at these things. Am I gonna come in, if they call, we got a check, we gotta send it out, am I gonna get in my car and drive up here?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
I do. I do.
Yeah, but you get paid, I know.
I do get paid.
I'm only kidding, guys. What did I approve the other day then? We gotta stop.
But the audit so far has been going good. We've been giving them all the information. We had one review. They're reviewing, not for them, but our payroll and everything else they're reviewing. Now they already did the risk assessment. Now they're moving on to in-depth in files. So they're here for at least another month.
really. It's my whole point. If they needed something and you're up in Old Forge and you could just go on and approve it electronically, that's
I
just
understand.
more from a standpoint of convenience, that's all.
Okay. I'm sure they can do that, right? We have.
We can email.
Moving on. Okay, we need a motion to, did we have that?
No.
No, we need a motion to, you want to?
No, we did. It was.
I
was
approved
that-
the motion and I also approved to double his salary for this task.
We need a vote, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed, nay?
You have to
You have to
abstain.
recuse yourself,
I
Jeff.
got it's a short hour.
Recuse yourself.
I recuse myself.
Any opposed?
What's the hell of
You
a
could
hell?
vote
Carried.
for Ann.
Oh, yes.
Item number 11, Project East.
I'd
not
like to move
not
that to
be
executive
confused
session.
with Project North, South, or West. All right, we will move that to, it's okay. Union Tool, number 12.
So I would like to get a phase one assessment on that site after I don't want to hold up the phase one assessment. So I'm asking page is that, 35, the board to support it. It's under 5,000, but I still want you all to be involved with it. $3,500. So in order for the Union Tool site to move ahead with the process, I'm asking for support for $3,500 for the phase one.
Need a motion. Kate, Mike, any discussion? All in favor, aye? Any
Discuss.
No. I don't know what I ate for breakfast this morning, so I'm just.
Any
gonna keep
opposed,
quiet.
nay?
So
Carried.
I can talk a little bit more about the tool right now if you want, or you want me to tell them?
And go ahead.
So Union Tool, we had a great meeting on, geez, was it Friday? Friday of last week. And we had HRP involved. Mr. Halleck was on the phone. We had representatives from Union Tool, their attorney, and the consulting firms that's looking to do something with the property. So discussions were talked about everything from who's going to monitor, what would happen, how clean is it, what areas. Their consultant was holding back on even looking at doing on anything to the property till now because of where the cleanliness lies now and where sites we can utilize. So there is still quite a few acres. The only one still is that treed in area that we could look at cleaning up or leave it forever green. So we left it as I would meet with their consulting firm sometime this week. I haven't had the opportunity yet, and discuss what would happen. I keep asking for them just to give us the property. The good thing about them doing that sooner than later would be we do the phase one before we take control of the property. And then there still would be a little bit of cleanup in some areas we could do or not. It's totally up to us. And there's grants available now for up to $650,000 for cleanup. So we would look to apply for something there.
What's the response when you ask them about giving you the property?
They're not, Tony, did you think they were opposed to that? You were on the call.
I think it's an option. They're not opposed to it, but I still think that their preference is to try to market the property themselves.
The problem's gonna be is you have to monitor it forever. And there's certain things you have to make sure when you're working on the property, you work with the DEC. So unless you have that, so say Pyramid comes in and says they want to do it, they're gonna have to work with that developer to work with the DEC and who's gonna monitor this. Where I've already spoke with the Village of Frankfurt and they agree to monitor it forever. We'll do up an MOU before we do anything, take care of the roads, do everything else we need. So we would be in much better shape, and I explained that to them. If they put it out there, we still said we would work with whatever developers came in, we'd be happy to, with pilots and different incentives and help them with grants. But I think it'd be better if we managed that property.
When you go for a cleanup grant, how often and how frequently can you access state funding for that?
It's federal funding through the EPA, and we could get one every time.
Anytime you go to.
Yeah, and right now they've increased the EPA funding, so there's a lot of money out there. And yesterday, a matter of fact, they just released the grants, so you can start applying. So we've already put in place for our assessment grant. We've been way ahead of this. When was our meeting? Like 2 months ago, a month and a half. We're way ahead. So, and we've been already lobbying the EPA. So I'm very confident in getting, $500,000 assessment grant again, so we can go throughout the county. But but no cleanups, we can do everything if we follow the right process.
Is there any place else besides Fork and Knoll that you're kind of thinking about? We may need to look ahead.
I really wanted to have us on site at Chip's gas station already. I'm not sure why that hasn't moved fast. I have I cannot push the person involved in the county in that. I know Ray Johnson has been working very hard on it. I know he's not the slowdown. I know Mr. Bono has been pushing as well. But as soon, and the village I was, or the town, I'm sorry, it's in the town of Frankfurt. I met with them, what day did they bring the check? 2 days ago, and told them to condemn the property because someone's living there now. Condemning the property will not affect us at all. All I need is rights to get on for the phase 1. And the courts can allow us to do that, and then we can start applying for everything. It's all a process, but it's, you know,
Someone's living there,
someone is living there right now
In the gas station?
in the gas station
homeless.
with, no, they have a home. It's the gas station.
So if we condemn it, they have to get out.
Then the town can go after them with their law enforcement and keep them out.
Squatting there, if anything. There's no electric, there's no water, it's all off, so.
So how are they living there? They just squatters?
Yeah,
It's a previous person that rented the building. They know who it is. Until they condemn it, they can't really do anything.
Well, can't they make them get out because there's no water or electric? That's unsanitary conditions,
How can the police make them do that?
because it's unsanitary.
No,
they don't own the property.
Can the police
Get
do
out.
that?
Yeah.
You gotta bring an article 7 city to bring it up.
Unless you condemn it.
Well, the county, blueprint proceeding.
The town said they will look at condemning it. Michelle was all over that. I told you I saw somebody living there.
Why they didn't do it before, but anyway.
Well, now we're gonna help them with the cleanup. They want to make it parking for the bike trail. It'll be a great new thing. It'll open up that community. They're eager to take it over after we do the cleanup or cap, whatever needs to be done. They'll never build on the structure. It's a perfect thing, a win-win for everyone.
Snowmobile trail goes right through the.
Does it? Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Item 12 still. We need
Then
the,
that's where they
we don't-
circle around to
Yeah.
get gas. What's they gotta cross the highway.
Morobito.
I need a motion to, for that 35.
You already did it, right? Didn't like second.
We need a vote?
Yeah.
Okay, item 13. Ale manufacturing, we need to amend the resolution, authorizing resolution.
We held our public hearing on that on Tuesday, and nobody attended. And we're moving ahead with, we amended their pilot to support them more than because of some of the other outstanding circumstances there.
Got a nice sign out there now.
Pardon?
They got a nice sign.
They do.
Would entertain a motion at this point. Mike and John, any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed? 14 is our survey, wetlands survey. Yeah,
This
that's
is-
the business part.
This is the duck story.
This is the stagnant
So
water.
we think we've seen the light, right, Tony? We're very close. So the last meeting we had, we have 5-point-something acres already in that front center that's set aside for wetlands. He is not happy with that. He wants an additional 1/4 acre, right about 1/4 of an acre, marked out in the front of that park. We're gonna mark it out, conservation easement with the town and get that done. What that'll do is it'll free up in the front park more. We're doing a road study to bring in hopefully what we talked about for retail in that park. And we're hoping that the engineers can design it that 1/4 acres becomes part of a detention area. And that's where the water will flow.
This is where specific?
Right in front of the wetlands and then off Drive-In Road, right when you pull into the park. It won't be in Calucci, it'll be over more. Yeah.
Drama continues.
So we need the survey, we need the approval for the survey. Should we say the approval to work with the town for the conservation easement?
Survey how much?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought when we gave the town that 35 or so.
That was
acres.
for the encroachment that Skylar Wood Pellet did.
Yeah, but didn't we say at the time that would include anything else that we needed?
We can't do it that
way.
way. The Corps of Engineers doesn't go that route.
This is a compliance issue that dates back over 13, was 15 years under the original permit for the initial Skyline Business Park.
And we didn't know that then. I mean, we didn't. So now we're digging into it deep. And he said, you will not do this, you will not, you will do this. So we, myself, Mike and Tony got on the phone and Stacy, and we said, we will do this. So it's that simple. But it's not big, it's not a big part of it. We think we can utilize it still, so.
The motion to get a survey.
Yeah, and to move ahead with the conservation, we might as well lump it all.
John, Mike, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.
Because we've been, I'm not done with that part yet, because we've been having so many, and this is just my opinion, but Mr. Bono might bring up something else after about the property across the road that we own still. I don't feel as though that we should divide any of that property up. I don't think it's not really usable for development, but we have that conservation easement there, and I don't think we need to bring anything forward to the core just to keep us moving forward. If we do run into a situation in any other properties we go by, we can ask to put that over in that area, and we would still have that area available for conservation easement. So my opinion is that we just leave it alone now. Mr. Bono has something else that he would like to say.
Coached by a gentleman, your neighbor of mine, lives up the road, is interested in purchasing a landlocked piece of property we have on the other side of the canal. It's 70 acres.
I don't know, but it's all part of the same parcel.
How many acres?
Maybe
It's
the
up
whole
there,
parcel is 70, but
at least
at least-
50.
yeah, at least that. And it's wooded swampland.
I was going to say,
He
it's all
wants to hunt it. You know, people have been hunting it now. Anyway, everybody just hunts it. It's no good to us outside of maybe swap. They actually have to
These are
get in
rednecks.
there from
along
either
the tracks.
Dyke Road, which is sort of seasonal,
That's a very.
or the railroad tracks. And I went with, so I went with somebody one day. We had to go into through the railroad track, which is technically trespassing.
Scary.
And so you serve no purpose to us, whether they can't really log it because they can't bring stuff out of there unless they made an agreement with Canal Authority. I think I don't know if there's a dedicated right of way. I think it's just a right of way that's been used by the farmers. It's a mutual agreement done for ages there. So what's the flavor? I mean, you're the board. You want to go ahead, Tony. Just
Only because every time I seem to take a step forward in carving out a parcel or going out to DEC with a notice, and John and I, and Stacy respectively, we've inherited some things that we just don't know about regulatory wise. I would be more comfortable getting Skylar built out because I've got to go back in for at least one or two more subdivisions. And that's going to have to go out to DEC, and it's going to probably be before the Corps again. I'd like to know that I had wetland in my pocket to designate, because once it's gone,
You can't produce wetlands.
I don't know that I can produce it. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just thinking that the timing may be inappropriate until we get this water in at the park built out.
great point. Is it fair to say that this land can be substituted? Say we wanted to do something in Man, we're doing something in Man, and an issue arose there where we needed to swap. We could use Skylar as a swap out also.
From what little I now understand,
It
yes.
doesn't have to be
Contiguous.
contiguous with the property, with the projects that we have. So, and the county has done this, where we
Yeah.
swapped out wetlands and another piece of property we own on a road with a project that we're working on. So it's sort of like a bank. It's like a property bank for us where we can use it at any location we have. I'm just bringing it out there. And a great point by Tony, maybe we should just wait till we build out. At which point, I mean, hopefully, Manheim we'll have a bite there soon. And then we'll decide what we
I
want to
don't-
do.
My vote is not to sell it. Look at this wetlands in Skylar. We farted around this thing. We spent 50 grand here years ago.
No, we never spent the
We
money.
never did.
No, we stopped
But I-
it. When I came in, we stopped
We
it.
were going.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it had to be in close proximity to do trades. I didn't know you could do Manheim and Schuyler
Within your county.
within your county. All right.
So far, I
But
mean, we haven't gotten to that.
you didn't even say what he's willing to offer to buy
Oh,
it.
there was no
There's
discussion
no,
of that. He
but I
just
think
was interested.
trading is better for us than selling it and having another. So
So we got a,
not to overrule you, Mr. Bono, it breaks my heart to
Anyone
agree
else?
with your two people
You can always
sitting side by
revisit.
side.
You can always
Yeah,
revisit selling the land down the road too, if need be.
$100.
There's no hurry.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay, we'll, tell him. Not at this point. Okay, item.
Still hunt for free, eh?
Comments by elected officials. Brian Miller is on the phone. Brian, Assemblyman, would you like to?
Oh, sure, guys. You guys got a lot of activity going on. It's great to hear all that. We've been meeting with a lot of business people, small manufacturers, and one of the biggest topics that's been brought up is warehouse space. And I know you guys have been talking about it, but that's been a hot topic.
Yeah, Brian, we've discussed that both in-house here and away from the table. It's a hot item. I know John and the group gets comments all the time or inquiries about warehouse space. Anything from 30,000 to 50,000 square feet. Even the developers are telling us that. We sort of brought it up to the legislature unofficially, I guess. That if the legislature would be willing to fund a small project. We did it in the past over in Frankfurt, 5S North Park. Unfortunately, the market wasn't right then, and they took a gamble on it, and it took 10 years to fill that. But now is a different day. I mean, we could fill that tomorrow.
The warehouse that we did build in Frankfurt, we ended up all making money on that. It did serve us well. And there is a very viable company in at that location now. Brian, when we first took over Schuyler, we were looking at that, but we've had some great success, and we think we'll have the park completely sold maybe by the end of the year. So it wouldn't be there. So our ultimate goal, and we've reached out to the legislature to help us find some properties within their districts. And I'm hoping I hear back from every one of them properties that we can at least look at. Maybe the infrastructure isn't complete yet. We can go after other grants to make that happen. But we need to really look to expand our footprint as far as what we have for industrial warehouse use.
Not to be,
Okay, that's just been one of the topics that's been talked about a lot, and it seems to be a common topic with everybody we talk to. But other than that, our office is always open. Again, Jim, I'm heading down to Bermuda, so call anytime, and we're here to help.
Great, Brian. Thank you very much.
Have a safe trip. We appreciate the comments. Dave, you said you want to say something.
I feel like I've been negative today. I'm not trying to be, but where does warehouse space add jobs?
Well, that certain Amazon warehouse will probably bring in about 800 full and part-time employees.
All right. I just,
But that's just.
I was thinking it's, a building. They store stuff and you give them all these pilots, tax breaks, and
They won't be in
their
there.
main
though.
jobs. All right.
But it builds a property.
Really, because there's
You know, I
Amazon
mean,
warehouse.
it's got that-
I stand to be corrected.
Syracuse, Amsterdam, I mean, they're
Valid comment.
popping up all along there that. Went by the one in Amsterdam the other day, we got quite a fleet of trucks.
Yeah, oh, they'll be the same here. Seems.
Assemblyman Smolin, are you on? Senator Overacker's office? Assemblywoman Buckshine? Okay, that covers everybody. Let's go on to our projects update. Last page. That, wanna give us-
Sure, first one, the Genesis Group. We decided not to take our vacation due to COVID, and I will be attending that Genesis event for the award, so I'm very happy to receive that. And that's October 14th. For anyone who wants to attend, let me know. Myself and Mr. Bono are splitting the table. Right now, we have 2 seats left.
John's been given the award for Joe Legacy, so if we can attend that, it would be great.
What is that, Chuck?
Hard Hill
Legislature.
I'm not. 14th is what?
Thursday.
I can't, I'd be happy to sit with you.
Great. Thanks, Steve Wynn will be the featured guest speaker.
I feel very good. Joe Carucci was Dan Reardon's uncle, so I feel very proud that you're getting that award.
Wow. He's no
I don't
Alice
have
Cooper.
any animosity
You know,
towards-
Steve Wynn's no Alice
I
Cooper.
received
but
that.
he's
Yeah, John has received that award in the past.
He does a good job. It's nice. It's good that you'd be there and get that award.
It's a luncheon and
Yeah.
you'll be out of there. I mean, Ray is very functional.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And you didn't realize people.
He said I could give a very short speech. I gotta get out of that.
So we can make it any great. All right, Jen.
Mohawk Valley Water Transmission Line. After 20 weeks, we received our drawdown for the first one, so it's full steam ahead now. I'm trying to locate a supporting engineer, a civil type engineer to help us with the project. Tony, you're still waiting to hear back from Bartlett Judas attorney. Have you reached out to them?
I put a call in this week.
Okay, because we need to move ahead with the contract before we agree to go any further with Bartlett Judas. But we have a lot of things already starting to roll with that. We've been applying for other monies and things, and we'll continue to do that at this time. No. The housing policy, we are going to have our public hearing October 5th, I think it is. And it'll be here. So that'll open up an opportunity for any taxing jurisdiction in the county to come attend. Our housing, we have some great opportunity for housing, both down here and then up in the northern 40 with the town of Webb. So we're excited about that. Do we need a hospitality policy for hotel, motel, or what would we include that under, Mr. Attorney?
I haven't ever run across a hospitality policy in my 30 years. I
I
know
believe
the
there's one in
enabling
St.
legislation,
Lawrence County.
I will certainly take a look at it. I know it's allowed under the statute.
Okay.
Done hotels before.
Okay, yeah, we're excited because there's some opportunity for that as well. The EPA grant, which I brought up already, we're very excited to apply for that again. We did, we got some great play with that. Mr. Bono, myself, attended many meetings with the EPA directly. They know who we are. After doing so well, we've closed out our first grant ahead of time. We're very excited about that. We've seen projects move ahead like Dewfall and some of the other ones, so it's exciting to keep moving there. And then after that, I'm going to go in executive session for some property negotiations.
Anyone else? Project updates? Okay. Need a motion to go in executive session to talk about some projects and potential.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Serrano, Ricky.